Okay, I shut down R, so now I want to reopen it. So remember that to recover the workspace that you were using in a project, you go to that project and you'll find the R icon there. You can open R from there to get that workspace back. Now in the workspace I had, well, let's see the objects that I have. So you can use ls to do that. And I have height and weight in there. So height is here and weight is there. Okay, now pause the, make sure you have these, and then pause the video, and I want you to show these on a plot with height on the x-axis. Now notice that these are not in order here, right? And from least to greatest. And of course these match with these, so the person who has this height has this weight, and so on. And these are not in order either. So there's not any order here, but that's okay. We can still plot them. So please stop the video or pause the video, and then plot them. Height on the x-axis. So see if you can do that. So that's how you do it, and you get this. So when you do this, just like when we did with the babies, the infants, we get a kind of increasing relationship. As height increases, weight also increases. Now you can add in this extra argument here if you want, and that will change the symbols here. And there, I guess there are different ones, but this one, number 2, when it's 2, will give you the triangles. I'm not sure what other ones are available. Okay, now let's talk about BMI. So the idea behind the BMI is that this is a value that's independent of the person's height. So just weight is not independent of your height. So that's not weight isn't really a good measure of whether you're overweight or not. But the BMI is supposed to be independent of your height. So someone can have it can be very tall and have a good BMI, or be not tall and have a good BMI. Okay. So anyway, we have this BMI, and I think we said that the range is supposed to be between 20 and 25. But let's say that a good BMI is 22.5, or maybe a normal BMI is 22.5. It's better to have probably a lower BMI, but a normal BMI should be 22.5. By the way, you can calculate your own BMI if you like. And remember that the BMI calculation is weight over height squared. So of course if weight BMI equals weight over height squared, then weight equals BMI times height squared, right? Just bring this part over to this side. And then if we put in 22.5 as the good BMI, we can calculate based on somebody's height what their or a normal BMI, I should say, what their weight should be. So if it's greater than that, for example, then we'd think that their weight was too much or not normal. Okay, so we're going to include this in our graph, but before we do that, I want to stop and explore this function called the line function. So in order to explore this, let's make 2 more variables. So I already made them, but here, make them yourself. K, 9, 2, 10, 5, and M, 1, 7, 2, 9. So you should, of course, know how to create 2 vectors like this. So please do that. Pause the video and do it. And of course you should remember that you should use the combine or concatenate C function to do this. Okay, now let's plot this instead. So go ahead and plot K versus M. No, I'm sorry. Plot M versus K. Plot M versus K. So you do it like this, and you get that. Okay, so I have these points over here. This is M, is the X, in this case, in this plot, M is the X coordinate, and K is the Y coordinate. So it's, for example, this point here is what, I guess it's supposed to be, doesn't look like it, it's supposed to be 1, 9. So that's the first point here, 1, 9. And then the next point is 7, 2. 7, 2. Okay? And so on. Now let's explore this line function. So let's type in question mark line. Okay, so we can see that it takes two arguments, the x coordinate and the y coordinate of points. Actually, these are vectors, but they, when you set them up like we just have, for example, we just did m and k, we could put m and k in here. We could put m and k in here, and we could run the line function. And what it's going to do is it's going to join all the points by lines. So let's see, let's try it. So let's try that. So let's try line m, k and see what we get. It's supposed to join the points. Now remember, the points are 1, 9, 7, 2, and so on. Now the thing to know before we do it, though, is how is it going to join the points? For example, is it going to join this point to this point? Or is it going to join this point to this point and to this point and to this point? How is it going to join the points? Now you might think that it's going to join this point because this is the next closest one, and then maybe this point and then this point because it's the next closest one, or because you think because that's the order of the x-axis. So this point has an x-coordinate of 1, and the next biggest x-coordinate is here, which maybe is 2, and the next biggest is here, which is 7, and the next biggest here, which is 9. So you might think it's going to do it that way, but that's not the way it does it. The way it does it is by here, over here. So it says, okay, this is the first point, so it takes that point, starts there, and joins it to the second point, which is over here, 7, 2. So it's going to go here, then here, then it's going to go to the third point, which is 2, 10, which is back up here. So let's do it and see what I mean. Oops. Sorry about that. I used the wrong function. It's lines, not line. Okay? So we have to change it to lines. So if you want to, so we get the arguments here are x and y, and it says that these are coordinate vectors of points to join, right? So the same as what I was saying, and the type is this one here, which is default is 1, and character indicating the type of plotting, actually any of the types, as in plot.default. If you click on plot.default there, you see this, and if you go down to type, it gives a kind of description of the different types that you can put in. So you can put in 1, like, or which is the default. You could change it to B. So if you want to check this out, I haven't checked it out, but you could check out by putting in different of these types and seeing what their response is. Going back to lines, here we have it. And do they give us, so this is just an example, but let's not do that example, but let's try and type it again. I made a mistake. Let's do it again. So let's try that. And there, you get it. Okay, so that's how it draws these lines. Now, what I want to have, let's go back and replot what we had before. I'm hitting the up arrow key. Let's go back and replot this, or which one did I want? I want this one. Okay, so let's go back and plot this. Now, what I want is I want a line, well, let me explain a little further first. Or actually, let's stop this video and come back and continue. So we're going to use both of these together, lines and plot. And one of them is going to be, I'm sorry, both of them are going to be on the same screen. Okay, so I'll stop the video here and come